All right, so maintenance starts first thing in the morning when we get out of bed. We're laying in the bed for anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 8 hours. Doesn't matter how long it is, you're laying in that bed, not really moving a whole bunch. The body gets stiff. That's what happens when we lay and sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you gotta loosen yourself up. So before I even get my feet on the floor in the morning, I have a set of stretches and exercises that I do to help get my body loosened up and primed and ready to go in the morning. So me, I'm a big side sleeper, so usually I wake up and I'm on my side. So since I'm already here, the first thing I do is go ahead and rotate back and loosen up my low back. I bring the top leg up as high as I can get it, comfortably where it doesn't cause any discomfort. I'm going to place my hand here on my stomach, and then I'm just going to try to roll my shoulder back towards the floor. Hold that for about 20 seconds or so. Some of you may hear a pop or something going on in your back. If it doesn't cause any sharp stabbing pain, it's not bad. It's just nitrogen gas releasing from the capsules in our back. And it's the same thing that you get when you go to that chiropractor and they pop your back. It's just that same feeling, just you're stretching it out yourself. And you can do it to both sides. Knee up as high as you can get it. And again, hand here. And just try to take that shoulder back down to the floor. The next one I like to do, it's nice and easy. Bring my knee into my chest. Get those glutes to loosen up a little bit. Then while I'm here, I go ahead and stretch this hamstring. So pull in to your chest and try to take your heel to the ceiling, and you should feel this stretch all throughout your hamstring. And hold it about 10 seconds or so. Then kick back up again. And back down. That wasn't quite 10 seconds, but I'll let you guys do that counting on your own. Same thing on the other side. Pull that knee into the chest. Loosen up those glutes. Hand behind the knee. Just kicking that heel up to the ceiling. Now my absolute favorite stretch at any time, morning, noon, night, piriformis stretch. So what you're going to do, best you can, you're going to try to cross this ankle over the opposite knee. If you can't get that foot up that high, straighten the leg out, cross it over here. And you're just going to pull that knee over to the side, let that stretch out in your hips and your glutes. If you can grab your foot and pull your foot with your knee, you'll feel that change just a little bit. But you want to loosen up this area. For those of you who can do this with your knee up, grab at the ankle, grab at the knee, and just pull both of them in towards your chest. Same thing on the other side. The ankle, grab at the knee. Some of you may be even able to lift that foot up and get even more of a stretch there. It's all what you can do without causing any pain with it, because the stretch should feel intense, but it shouldn't be painful. It should just feel, okay, yeah, I feel that pulling, but I also feel that loosening up. And again, for those who can't bring that knee up that high, cross over, that leg straight, and just pull at that knee. Try to pull at the ankle, just pulling that leg in as close to your chest as you can. All right, so now that we're loosened up a little bit, we're going to get the muscles in your core working and get them woke. So what we're going to do, we're going to do pelvic tilting or pelvic rocking. So we're going to rock your pelvis forward as much as you can. You should see where your back comes off of the ground and you can fit your hand under your back. Then from there, you want to rock back down and tilt your pelvis up. You don't want to crunch your body up here. This is the pelvic motion. You want to tilt your pelvis back and flatten that down, your back back down to the ground, so that now your hand can't fit under your back. You just want to go back and forth. Stretching that back out and engaging those core muscles as you do so. And just 10 or so of those. Just get those muscles woken up. Then the last thing I like to do, just really wake my core muscles up. Tighten them, hold them, poke at them just a little bit to make sure they stay engaged. You should be able to do this and talk all at the same time, because we're not doing everything we can here and taking our breath away. We're just engaging those muscles, making them do their job. If you push into your stomach and you feel where your stomach just sinks in as you push, they're not engaged. You should feel that thump as you're poking at your stomach. And you want to hold that maybe about a minute if you can. If you can't hold quite a minute, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, however long you can hold it, just wake those muscles up and get them doing their job. All right, so we're midway through the day. We're sitting at our office desk, and all of a sudden that ache starts to slowly come on during the day. This is that time for you to pull out your maintenance kit and take care of that issue. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to stretch out your hamstrings. It's just like in the morning, loosening those up helps loosen up your back. So what you're going to do, you're going to scoot towards the edge of your chair. You're going to straighten your leg all the way out. You're going to keep your head up. We aren't trying to hurt your back while we're doing this. We're trying to stretch out the hamstring. So not stretching the back, stretching the hamstring, so we'll keep our head up. And we're just going to reach down and try to touch your toes. You should feel this stretch a lot in the back of your knee and the lower part of your hamstring. We'll hold for about 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times. Then next, what we're going to do, we're going to bend that knee and do the same thing. Keep your head up and reach down to try to touch your toes, but you should notice a difference where now instead of the back of your knee feeling that stretch in the hamstring, you should feel that higher up in the glute and higher part of your hamstring as you do that stretch. So this way now we're stretching out the entire hamstring and not just loosening up the bottom half. We'll loosen up that higher hamstring that attaches into those glutes that is closer up towards your back. All right, so the next stretch we're going to do, it is directly going to be for the back. What we're going to do, we're going to reach down and try to touch our fingers to the floor. Then from there, we're going to walk our hands around our body and try to reach back and let that stretch out that opposite side as we reach around the stretch. And again, you only want to go as far as you can go comfortably without causing any discomfort. It should feel intense, but it should not be painful. And then we're going to walk our hands back around to the other side. And again, reach and let that stretch out the other side. Again, 20 seconds or so. Then we're going to come back to the middle. And you should feel where it's a little bit easier for you to reach down to touch, get your palms on the floor, more of your hand on the floor, what have you. It should just feel a little bit easier to do this stretch now. Now, before you come up, what you're going to do, you're going to bring your head up first, and you're going to walk your hands up your knees. Because when you try to lift back up with your head down, your back is doing all that work by itself to lift up. If you get your head up first, it puts your back in a good position. You can get more muscles to help out in lifting you back up. For those of you who can't do that stretch and reach that far down because it hurts your back too much, get a pillow. You can have it unfolded. You can fold it over, whatever you need to do to where it feels comfortable for you to lean forward a little bit. And after you get into that position where, okay, that's comfortable, I feel that I can stretch from there, same thing. You're just going to walk your hands around and try to reach backwards. If you have to use this pillow, trust, even right here, you'll feel this stretch. You don't have to be way down to the floor to feel this stretch. You're just going to reach around, let that stretch out in your back, back to the center. Same thing to the other side. Then back to the middle. And it's the same first move. Head up first, then walk yourself back up. So the last stretch we're going to do is my favorite. Same one as in the morning. Crossing that ankle over that knee. And now you can really feel the difference between the way you pull at your knee and the way you pull at your ankle. The difference in the way that it stretches in that glute. Pulling it over here to the opposite side, you really feel that stretch over here on the side versus pulling in at that ankle. You really feel that in the middle of that glute. So again, 20 seconds or so. We're going to do both legs, Really get that glute and that hip stretched out and loosened up. Again, for those who cannot do that, I want you to scoot more forward towards the edge of your chair. And we're just going to cross that foot over. Just try to pull over this way. Step this way. Get a better view of it. And straighten that leg out. Cross it over where you can. And just pull that knee over to the side. And then pull at that ankle as best you can. If you have to lean forward, again, head up as you lean forward. But feel that stretch throughout that glute. The next thing we're going to get to is a pelvic tilt again, but this time we're going to do it seated. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than laying down, but if you can master this motion, it gives you so much more control over your pelvis and over your core muscles. So what we're going to do, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to rock the pelvis back and forth. So we'll have it arched, then roll back. And arch, and roll back. And as you do this, you should feel where those stomach muscles are doing the work to round that back down. And then arch back up. You should feel them stretch out a little bit. You should feel the back muscles engage a little bit as you arch back up. Round down, and back. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do a glute set. We're going to make these glute muscles do some work. We're going to really wake those muscles up. So what we're going to do, for those who can, you're going to lift this foot up. You're just going to try to kick straight back, kicking your heel straight back. Like you're going to pretend that someone is standing right behind you, and you're going to kick your heel into their shin. Just straight back, and as you do that, you should feel that glute muscle tighten up and engage. Hold for a few seconds and back, all the while still keeping these core muscles tight. Keep your head up nice and tall. For those who can't lift that leg up, what I want you to do is just take a step back and just feel yourself straighten that back leg out. And as you do that, again, you should feel that glute muscle tighten up and engage. All right, so we've covered low back maintenance while first getting up in the morning, while sitting. Now we're going to go over standing. So let's say the times that you're in the grocery store, you're around, I don't have a shopping cart, but it's still the same basic premise here. You're pushing that shopping cart and you start to feel that ache across your back. Well, what are some stretches that you can do there? Most shopping carts have a little bar at the bottom of it. You can prop your foot up right there and get a nice stretch in your hamstrings right there. You want to leave that leg straight. Then again, just like before, you'll feel a little bit more in the back of your knee and the lower part of your hamstring. Then as soon as you bend that knee and go a little bit further, you're going to feel that higher up in your glutes, in that higher part of the hamstring. The next stretch we're going to do, we're going to stretch out those hip flexors. Because a lot of people don't know that tight hip flexors, the muscles that allow you to lift your knees and your legs up this way, they attach back here in your back. And if they get tight, it refers pain to your low back. So we're going to stretch those out. We're going to go into the staggered stance, and we're going to push and thrust our hip forward. We're not leaning forward. We're trying to push that hip forward, and you should feel that stretch right in the front of your thigh, right in that groin area. Again, head up nice and tall, nice and easy. Same thing on both sides. Just thrusting that hip forward and loosening up that groin. Last stretch that we can do while we're out and about in the stores, it's a modification of my favorite stretch. What we're going to do, we're going to cross one foot over the other. And actually, let's do it this way. So we're going to cross this foot over. And what you're going to do, as you lean forward, again, keep your head up, but you're going to shift your weight towards that back leg or that back hip. And feel this stretch along the back side of your leg, but as well as over in your hip. Let's turn this way so you guys can see me. Shift over. So we cross over, bend, and shift your weight over into that hip and let that stretch go down that hip. Same thing on the other side. Cross over, flex forward, and shift your weight over into that hip and let that stretch out and loosen up those hips. All right, and now to stabilize after we've done those stretches, what we're going to do, we're going to do some leg swings, but instead of swinging straight out to the side, what we're going to do, we're going to take our heel and swing out and back at an angle. We're going to work deeper into that glute muscle. When you come out here to the side, it's easy to let your foot just kind of twist up, and as you swing that leg, if your foot is twisting up, you're not really working the hips anymore. You're working more of that quad as you're rotating. So you want to make sure that toe stays turned down and in, and that leg goes out and back. This side, out and back at an angle. And the last exercise we're going to do for our maintenance for today is a marching glute kick. So we're going to bring the foot up and then kick back at the shin like our normal glute kick. Engaging those glutes, engaging those quads and that hip flexor. Nice and easy. Same thing on the other side. Up and back. Get those muscles loosened up and get them back to doing some work that is much needed to keep that back from hurting. All right, so there you have it, folks. That's our first Maintenance Monday. And the big thing to remember when it comes to the low back, yes, heat feels great. A lot of us at the end of a day, whether we do maintenance or if we exercise, whatever it is, when we have those backaches, we like to go to that heating pad because heat just feels so good on the muscle while it's there. But the thing is, as soon as we get off of it, that ache comes back, and usually it aches a whole lot more. And that's because heat brings in blood flow to an area. So when we're laying on a heating pad, we're warming that area up, we're bringing more blood flow into that area, and we're causing more swelling. There's already swelling there on the muscle in the first place because it's been overworked and it has been stretched out the way it needs to be to stay loose. So all that swelling is already sitting on that muscle. Then you add heat to it and you bring even more swelling onto it. When you come off that heating pad, it's going to ache even more because there's more swelling and more throbbing there. You want to use ice. When it is back muscle pain, lay on some ice at the end of the day. Get some of that swelling out because ice is going to force that blood flow away. It's going to make you a little more stiff, but the blood flow is going to go away and the swelling goes down. And that's what's going to allow you to have a little bit of relief from that ache in your back. Because once you come off the ice, you're like, okay, it's stiff, but it's not achy. And that's because all of the swelling, or a lot of the swelling, has been forced out of that area. As far as that achy, throbby, sore back pain, give it that ice because ice is nice. I hope this video is beneficial and it helps you to build your maintenance kit so that you can help maintain your body so it can be as functional as it can for as long as you need it to be. Be fit, be functional, be blessed.